96% of men under 30 admit to consuming pornography regularly. But here's what they don't tell you. 71% report feeling completely powerless to stop, even when it's destroying their relationships, their focus, and their self-respect. 2,000 years ago, a Roman philosopher named Seneca faced the most powerful empire on earth and kept his mind completely free. Today, you're going to learn his 4 tactical methods to reclaim that same freedom, not through willpower alone, but through a system so precise it transforms the battlefield entirely. You know the pattern. You promise yourself this is the last time. You delete the apps, you block the sites, you swear tomorrow will be different. And then tomorrow comes. The trigger appears. Maybe it's boredom, maybe it's stress, maybe it's just the glow of your phone at night. And within seconds, you're back in the same cycle. The shame follows. The promises restart. And the part that really hurts is how automatic it feels, like watching yourself make a choice you don't actually want to make. You're not weak. You're trapped in a neurological pattern that's been reinforced hundreds, maybe thousands of times. Your brain has learned that this behavior solves discomfort instantly, and every attempt to fight it head-on with raw willpower only makes the neural pathway stronger because you're giving it attention, resistance, emotional energy. You're essentially watering the very weed you're trying to kill. Before we go further into how Seneca solved this exact problem, I need you to understand something. This channel exists because ancient wisdom shouldn't stay buried in dusty books. It should be applied to the exact battles you're fighting right now. Every week, we translate Stoic philosophy into practical systems for modern challenges like this one. If you want to keep building this kind of mental sovereignty, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next tactics. Because what you're about to learn isn't theory, it's a repeatable method. Here's where most advice fails you. They tell you to resist, to fight the urge, to use discipline. But Seneca understood something deeper. He wrote that the wise person doesn't battle desire. They architect a life where desire has no foothold. See, when you resist, you create tension. And tension creates obsession. The more you tell yourself not to think about something, the more neural real estate it occupies. Seneca's approach was different. He didn't resist. He restructured. And that restructuring comes down to 4 specific tactics, each one targeting a different weakness in the addiction chain. You're about to learn exactly what those are and how to deploy them starting today. Seneca wasn't some sheltered academic. He was advisor to Nero, one of history's most volatile emperors. He lived in a court drowning in excess, violence, temptation, and political chaos. Maintaining clarity in that environment required more than good intentions. It required a system. He wrote in his letters, "No man is free who is a slave to his body." That sentence hits different when you realize he wasn't talking about physical slavery. He was talking about the invisible chains of impulse. The chains that make you do things you don't respect, that pull you away from who you actually want to become. Seneca's entire philosophy was built around one principle. You control your mind, or your mind controls you. And everything that follows is just the application of that truth. Imagine waking up and the first thought in your head isn't a craving. It's clarity. You move through your morning with intention. You look people in the eye without the quiet shame that used to live behind your expression. Your energy isn't drained by cycles of guilt and relapse. It's available for creation, for depth, for connection. This isn't fantasy. This is what happens when you stop feeding the pattern. When a man reclaims his attention, everything changes. His relationships deepen because he's actually present. His work improves because his focus isn't fractured. His confidence returns because he's no longer lying to himself every single day. The version of you that exists 6 months after applying these tactics doesn't recognize the person you are now. Not because you became someone else, but because you finally became yourself. So why does trying harder keep failing? Because addiction isn't a willpower problem. It's a reinforcement loop. Every time you give in, your brain releases dopamine and marks that behavior as survival critical. Every time you resist and then break, you teach your brain that the craving will win eventually, so it just has to outlast you. Seneca understood this. He knew that fighting a desire directly strengthens it. So instead of fighting, he taught indifference. Not the passive kind. Strategic indifference. You remove attention, you remove fuel. You don't battle the urge. You architect an environment where the urge finds nothing to grip onto. This is where the dichotomy of control comes in. You can't control the appearance of a craving, but you can control everything else. Your environment, your response, your focus, your identity. Most people try to control the craving itself, which is impossible. Seneca controlled everything around it until the craving became irrelevant. And this approach isn't just philosophical theory. We see it working throughout history. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, used these exact principles to maintain clarity while ruling an empire. Modern figures in high-performance fields talk about the same mechanism without knowing you're echoing Seneca. They remove options, they design friction, they build identity. The method works because it aligns with how your brain actually operates. You're not trying to overpower biology, you're redirecting it. Now let's get into the 4 tactics Seneca would use if he were fighting this battle today. These aren't abstract concepts. They're precise actions you can start implementing the moment this ends. Tactic 1. Premeditatio Malorum Inversa. Seneca famously practiced negative visualization, imagining worst-case scenarios to build resilience. But here's the inversion. Instead of imagining disaster, you pre-experience the craving before it arrives. Every morning you spend 60 seconds visualizing the exact moment your trigger will appear today. See it clearly. Feel the discomfort that usually precedes the behavior. Now, instead of imagining yourself giving in, you imagine yourself observing the feeling without reacting. You watch it arrive like a wave. You watch it pass. This practice rewires anticipation. Your brain stops being ambushed by the craving because you've already rehearsed the encounter. The craving loses its power to hijack you because it's no longer unexpected. You've already chosen your response before the moment arrives. This is preemptive control. You're not waiting for the battle. You're winning it in the morning. Here's how you execute it. Right after you wake up, before you check your phone, you sit for 1 minute. You ask yourself, when will I feel the pull today? After work? Late at night? During that specific transition moment? You visualize that exact scenario. You see your hand reaching for the phone, and then you see yourself pause. You see yourself choosing differently, not with strain, but with calm recognition. Oh, there's that feeling. And then you let it pass. You do this every single day. It takes 60 seconds, and it reprograms expectation. Tactic 2, the art of noble substitution. Seneca wrote about replacing base pleasures with virtuous action. But this isn't about guilt or morality. It's about biology. When the craving hits, your brain is asking for a dopamine spike and a way to escape discomfort. If you just resist, you leave a void. And voids get filled with the old pattern. Instead, you need an immediate replacement that satisfies the neurological need without the destruction. The replacement has to be physical, immediate, and slightly challenging. When the urge appears, you do 20 push-ups, or you go outside for a 2-minute walk, or you write 3 sentences about what you're feeling. The key is immediacy. You're giving your brain a different spike, a different pattern, a different identity. You're becoming someone who responds to discomfort with action, not escape. This isn't distraction, it's redirection toward virtue. Seneca believed every moment is a choice between who you are and who you could become. The substitution makes that choice concrete. You're not just avoiding the bad behavior, you're installing a better one. Your brain starts to associate the craving with the new response. Over weeks, the craving itself begins to lose intensity because it's no longer being reinforced. You're starving the old pathway and feeding a new one. And the new one connects to your identity. You're not someone who fights urges. You're someone who transforms them into strength. Tactic 3, the digital circle of control. This is the most radical and the most necessary. Seneca's core teaching was the dichotomy of control. Separate what you control from what you don't. You don't control whether the craving appears. You do control your entire digital environment. And here's the truth most people avoid. You can't moderate your way out of this. Moderation is a trap because it keeps the option alive. As long as access exists, the craving has hope, and hope keeps it persistent. Seneca would eliminate the option entirely. Not because you're weak, but because you're strategic. You remove the battlefield, delete the apps, install blockers that require a 20-step process to undo. Give your passwords to someone you trust. Make access so difficult that the momentary impulse can't complete the action. You're not building willpower. You're building intelligent barriers. Most people resist this because they think it's extreme. But Seneca would ask, what's more extreme? Spending years losing the same battle, or spending one day restructuring your environment and never fighting that battle again? Freedom isn't having the option and choosing not to use it. Freedom is removing the option so you can focus on what actually matters. You're not giving up control. You're exercising ultimate control by deciding what gets access to your attention. This is the circle of control made physical. Everything outside the circle, you remove. Everything inside, you dominate. And here's what happens. The first few days feel strange because the easy escape is gone. But then something shifts. You realize how much mental energy was being consumed by the constant availability. By removing the option, you remove the internal negotiation. Your brain stops asking the question because the answer is permanent. And that space where the negotiation used to happen, that becomes available for everything you've been wanting to build. Your focus returns. Your energy stabilizes. You stop living in two realities, the one you show people and the one you hide. You become integrated. Tactic 4. Memento Mori applied. Remember, you will die. Seneca meditated on mortality not to be morbid, but to extract maximum clarity. Every day you have is finite. Every hour you give to a behavior is an hour you'll never get back. So here's the application. When the urge appears, you ask one question. If I knew I had 6 months left to live, would I spend this moment here? That question destroys false urgency. The craving always pretends it's critical, that you need it now, that you'll handle it just this once. But when you hold it against mortality, it disintegrates. You realize this isn't even a real need. It's a ghost. And you're trading real time, irreplaceable time, for a ghost. Seneca wrote to his friend Lucilius, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." This behavior is the waste he was talking about. Not because it's immoral, but because it's theft. It steals your time, your potential, your clarity. And you can't get those back. When you truly internalize that your days are numbered, you become fiercely protective of what you allow into them. The craving isn't offering you pleasure, it's offering you oblivion. And oblivion is the opposite of living. Here's the practice. Every night before sleep, you spend 30 seconds reflecting on the day. Did I live it or did I escape it? Did I move toward who I want to become or away from it? And then you visualize your deathbed. The person lying there looks back at today. Are they proud or disappointed? This isn't guilt, it's calibration. You're aligning daily action with ultimate values. And when you do this consistently, the behavior that doesn't serve your highest self becomes impossible to justify. Because you're no longer thinking in terms of one moment. You're thinking in terms of one life. Seneca also taught that we should live as if we're always being watched by the wise version of ourselves. Not judgment, aspiration. When the urge comes, you imagine your future self, the one who's free, the one who's built everything you want to build, watching this moment. What would that version of you choose? You already know. And choosing what he would choose is how you become him. This is identity shift through temporal perspective. You're collapsing the gap between who you are and who you're becoming by making decisions from the end state. These 4 tactics work together as a system. You preempt the craving each morning. You substitute it with virtue when it appears. You remove the access entirely so the battle becomes unnecessary. And you anchor every choice in the reality of your limited time. This isn't a fight. It's an architecture. You're not building willpower. You're building a life where the old pattern has no place to exist. And here's what that life looks like. You wake up clear. You move through your day present. You build things that matter. You connect with people authentically. You look at yourself in the mirror and respect who's looking back. The shame dissolves because there's nothing to hide. The energy returns because it's not being drained by cycles of guilt. And the confidence emerges naturally because you're keeping promises to yourself again. You're not becoming someone new. You're becoming who you always were underneath the pattern. Seneca believed the highest form of wealth is sovereignty over yourself, not money, not status, not external validation, the ability to direct your own mind, to choose your actions instead of being chosen by your impulses. That's what these tactics give you, complete self-possession. And once you have that, everything else becomes possible. Because you're no longer at war with yourself, you're aligned, and an aligned man is unstoppable. This is the path. Not overnight transformation, but systematic reconstruction. Every morning you visualize. Every urge you substitute. Every access point you eliminate. Every night you reflect. And day by day, the old version fades and the free version emerges. Not because you fought harder, but because you built smarter. Seneca knew that true change isn't violence against yourself. It's intelligent design of your environment, your habits, your identity. You're not trying to destroy the person you were. You're creating conditions where that person can't survive, and the person you want to be thrives naturally. So if this framework gave you clarity, if you can see the path now where before there was only confusion, hit the like button. It tells the platform this matters. Subscribe so you get the next tactical breakdowns of ancient wisdom applied to modern wars. And drop a comment telling me which of the 4 tactics you're implementing first. Because when you declare it publicly, you activate commitment. You're not just learning, you're becoming. And that's the whole point.